Hi everyone, my name is Mykyta Osadchyi. I study medical biology here at the University of Maria Curie Skłodowska in Lublin, and I am from Ukraine. This is Ukraine, by the way. Before we go any further, there is something you need to know about me. Since about 2 years old, I have been a stutterer, the way that I speak and stop on some words. So during the course of my presentation, you might hear some moments of disfluency. I don't want you to feel weird about them. I don't feel weird about them. It is a part of me and I am okay with it. So, before I wanted to talk about how our brains are cool and not cool, and how are they just another organ, but also the most amazing and complex thing in the whole universe. But then something has changed, and particularly the war in Ukraine. And now I want to talk about something else. Right now we live in difficult times. Who would have thought that we would experience the biggest war in Europe since World War II, where people would have to hide in metro stations while the cities above them are being leveled to the ground? Nobody has taught us how to cope with something like this. Our parents and even grandparents have not experienced war, but we do now. Nobody can teach us how to cope with it. Different people are affected by this war in different ways. Some people feel the immense anxiety, worry, and panic of not knowing, will a nuclear war break out tomorrow? And some people lose their homes and friends and relatives. But despite this difference, we are all affected by this war in some way or another. Some people or scientists classify emotions into 4 different primary domains: happiness, sadness, anger, and fear. In times like these, we definitely feel much more panic, worry, and anxiety than normally. And all of these emotions are a part of fear. So this is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about fear, but specifically about panic. Not just panic attacks, although they are important, but about social, general panic that we might feel in times like these. Yes, panic. I would like to differentiate 2 different types of panic: the helpful panic and the not so helpful one. First of all, the helpful panic. Imagine you're a wildlife photographer and you're filming the wonderful lives of bears somewhere in Alaska. And then the bear notices you and it starts running towards you. You immediately panic. Your brain goes into this panic mode and you just don't think about anything now. You just act, you just run. You run and run away from this bear as fast as you can. You don't think, you just act. Remember this. You don't think, you just act. This type of panic can actually save your life. Like, you can survive this because you panicked, you feared. But there is also a different type of panic. The one like this. When you see a headline like this, you might think, oh my god, nuclear war, this is the end. Like, and you start to be concerned about this, like, is this actually happening? Like, are we actually losing? And then you read some more articles and you find out that another city has been captured. Country X refuses to help us, or that the capital city is being attacked. And then you begin to panic. The same as in the bear situation, you don't really think, you just act. Or should I say, your brain in the times of panic doesn't want to think, it wants to just act. The only problem with the second example is that it doesn't help you. The panic doesn't help you, and it might even, first of all, be false, because the truth might not be like this headline, and actually there is no nuclear war. But panic is contagious. While acting on this panic that you just got, you might share this news article with your friends or on social media without thinking about it too much. You share it with your friends, and then they text you or call you back, and you talk with them, and you discuss this news article, and it becomes like true, and you start actually believing it, reinforcing this false belief that will actually hurt your mental health and the mental health of others. Again, panic is contagious. It can spread like a virus. So one type of panic can save your life, but the other one can make your life and the life of others worse. The reason why your brain wants to just act and not think in the moments of panic is because our brains have evolved in the times when the biggest threat was probably a bear or something like that. They didn't have time to evolve to deal with nuclear war threats. Bears have existed for much longer than nuclear bombs. So it can be said that to your brain, a bear and a nuclear war threat are almost like the same thing. But in today's information-full world, we have to stop and think and to scrutinize the information that we are receiving. Our brains don't like to do that. It is against our instincts to think in the moment of panic. But that is exactly what we have to do. We have to look at the information presented and think about it before making a decision. Thinking like that would be really impossible in the bear example. Just like, imagine you see a bear running towards you, and then you question like, is this really a bear? Is he really running towards me? Does he really want to hurt me? And then you're dead. To our brains, it can be deadly to think in the moments of panic, but that is what we need to do, because right now bears are not a threat to most of us, at least. But news titles like that are. We have to explain to our brain that that is not a bear, that is something different. To summarize it all, I would just like to add that when we see a title like this or any scary news title, our brains want to act and not think, and we need to make them think and not act. This might sound like a cliche, but I see people, including myself, doing it all the time, being the victims of panic, basically. Now let's try to answer the question of why is our brain so affected by panic? Why can it control us so much? Like this, it seems like we have a big smart brain, but why can panic control us? When we fear or stress or feel anxious, a lot of cortisol and adrenaline are released into our blood, which changes the way that our bodies behave overall. As long as you have these hormones in your blood, you will feel and act a certain way, and there is no shortcut around it. These hormones will act on various organs. They will make your heart beat faster, your lungs breathe quicker, it'll make your palms sweat, your stomach contract, and it will also affect your brain. They will affect how you make decisions. An interesting thing is that when you donate blood while you're stressed or super anxious, these hormones will be present in the blood that you donate, so that when the recipient receives your blood, they might also feel stressed and anxious because they have received your blood. With the blood you have donated your stress and anxiety. Yeah, that's true. So to summarize, I would like to say that panic is not just a thought, it is an actual biological change in our bodies that changes the way that we feel and act. And most importantly, it changes how our brains work. And you know what? That's okay. Overall, fear and panic are not your enemies. They are completely natural emotions, biological processes in your body, but not always helpful emotions. It doesn't mean that you should get rid of them, or that you should hate them and criticize your fear, but it means that you can be mindful about your panic. Think about it and notice it. That is how to panic. You know, as long as you live, you panic and you fear. And I hope that what you heard today will at least in some way help you deal with what is happening in the world right now. I asked my friend journalist recently, what is the best way to manipulate people? And she said, fear. Thank you for your attention. The end.